Always great to talk media with Sophie Elsworth, media writer for The Australian. Thanks for joining us again, Sophie. So much to talk about, but not enough time. Why don't I start off by showing everyone a little of what Stan Grant has had to say about the ABC and his old program and get your thoughts on that. Have a look.
If you do a Q&A program or whatever and you put a range of people on and suddenly you're expected to be expert about everything from what's happening in the Middle East to, taxation policy or the Indigenous voice or whatever it may be. And sometimes there are people on these programs that I don't need to hear from. And what is their expertise?
There you go. New ABC critic Stan Grant. Sophie, is this going to be a problem for the ABC? I noticed his wife, Tracy Holmes, has also just left the ABC. She was criticising the organisation too in the Weekend Press.
Well, Chris, great to be here. Look, they've both come out firing at the ABC. Interestingly, Stan Grant made those comments on the ABC. Chris said he, basically didn't want to hear from certain people saying certain things, which is a little bit ironic given he did host Q&A, let's not forget, Chris, and he had all those different people, all those different voices on his show. But hindsight is a beautiful thing, and now he's saying he doesn't want to hear from a lot of these people. Then you have Tracy Holmes, his wife, in the Sydney Morning Herald, Sun Herald on Sunday with Peter Fitzsimons, saying she was really quite appalled with the treatment of her husband by the ABC, and she's tossed in the towel. She's leaving at the end of the month. So they're certainly pretty two disgruntled, what are both going to be former employees of the ABC, Chris.
Well, it makes life pretty hard for you and me, Sophie. We used to be quite prominent critics of the ABC. We're sliding down the pecking order now. There's more trenchant critics about the place. Hey, speaking of the ABC, let's have a look at this. Here's a bit of their diversity.
Is it because the ABC doesn't have enough drag queens hosting shows? Are you a quota girl? Why can't I be both different and the best person for the job?
Sophie, I know, like me, you're astonished. They're just always on about this sort of diversity and disability diversity and ethnic diversity, but no diversity of ideas.
Well, Chris, I noticed earlier in your program you talked about this story where the Chief Content Officer at the ABC, Chris Oliver Taylor, sent this email around to staff basically saying they're not diverse enough. They need more diversity and they need people from different backgrounds to be on the payroll at the ABC. Now, let's not forget, Chris, they have 4,000 employees. But I must admit, Chris, a lot of these corporations and businesses are going down this path where you have to tick certain diversity boxes. And the ABC is one of the worst offenders where they're totally obsessed and captured by box ticking, whether it be gender, religion, ethnicity. But as you say, what about diversity of views? And I don't know that they're that great at the ABC, if I'm honest, Chris.
Exactly. They've got male lefties, female lefties, gender diverse lefties, black lefties, white lefties, all kinds of lefties. They don't notice that there's one word that's common to everyone. How about some diversity of ideas? That would be really good at the ABC. Thanks so much for joining us, Sophie. I appreciate it.